Welcome back to Team FastEddy. Today we're going to take a quick look at the Team FastEddy replacement clutch carrier bearings. Just like all of the Team FastEddy products, the clutch bearing is a specified bearing by us from the factory. We tell them what balls to use, what cages and races to use, as well as what greases to use. And it's going to give you an extremely high quality bearing to put back into your clutch carrier. So this is what you're going to get, the two bearings. And seeing as how that's really all I have to say about them at the time, we're also going to show you how to put them in. There are many ways to put in bearings into a clutch carrier and to get them out. Some people heat them up, some people also put the bearings in the freezer to shrink them a little bit. You can do that method. What we're going to do is show you what we call the quick and easy raw method, using stuff that you may have around the house. If you use an arbor press and you have one, that is probably the best way to get them in and out, is with an arbor press as far as I'm concerned. However, we're going to get down and dirty and show you how to get the old bearing out and put the new ones in with minimal equipment. So let me back the camera out so you can see a little bit better what we're doing, and we'll get started. Okay, to get the bearings out, we're going to go ahead and place the back of our bell down onto a flat surface, and we're going to get out a punch of some sort. You can use a punch like this that I've had in my toolbox. You can use a nail. You can use anything that's long and strong that you can pound on. What we're going to do is set this down onto the inner race from the outside. You can get a little better look. We're just going to come through and past this, and we're going to set this down onto the inner race, or to the inner race on the inside of this. The other thing that we're going to do is use a persuader, and very simply, you don't want to really muscle these out, but you just want to give it a tap or two, move around to a different portion of the bearing, and just kind of work your way around until the bearing pops out. It's pretty straightforward and easy. You can see the bearing retainer, little 4-bearing retainer nubs in there that hold the bearing from seating down too far, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But you're going to go ahead and get that bearing out. The second thing you're going to want to do is to get this bearing out. You can't just lay it on a table and punch it out because it's flat against this. We have found an object. This just happens to be a aftermarket gas cap from a Baja we have laying around, but you'll get the picture here. You want to support this up off of the ground, and that just kind of fits in there perfect for me and allows the bearing to fall out the bottom. And we're very simply going to do the same thing. That one just came right out. So we've removed the old bearings. Okay, don't throw these away. We're going to use these actually to help us install the new bearings. Let's go ahead and start on the top one because it's easier to see. We're going to grab our new bearing. We're going to set it down on top and make sure that it's absolutely flat. And you can actually press it in a little bit by hand as you go around, but it's not going to completely press in all the way. So make sure that that's nice and flat. We're going to use our old bearing. We're going to set it on top. We're very simply going to evenly tap on the top and go around in even motions until that bearing completely sets down onto the retainers that are on the inside. And you can see across the top that none of the bearing is exposed out of the front. It's very simple. Whatever you do, please do not hammer directly onto this bearing, and if you're pressing it in with something, don't press in on the inner race because that's going to destroy the bearing. You want to evenly and very lightly use the outer race to tap the bearing in. We're going to go ahead and repeat the process on the back side. You're going to set the bearing in, make sure that it is completely straight. And actually, if you rock it back and forth, you can get that bearing to seat in just a little bit. Again, we're going to take one of our old bearings, put it on the top, hold it into place, and just kind of go around evenly until it's set in. This one's not going in as easily as the other one did. You can see that we're trying to keep it even all the way around as we go in. This one's not fully pressed in yet because it's not even with the case. So we're going to continue to do that. If you do have an arbor press, much easier. If you do want to heat the case up and freeze the bearing, it does make it much easier, but a lot of these same processes are going to be followed. You want to be very gentle with it, and you do not want to touch the inner race with anything. You want to keep everything on the outer race as far as pressure as you're putting it in. Okay, now you can see that that bearing is completely installed. Last thing we're going to do is to test the bearing once it's in, because sometimes you never know what you can do putting them in, and you don't want to keep a bad bearing in there. Very simply, just put your finger in there and spin it, and it should be extremely smooth. That's how you're also going to test your old bearings to see if they need to be replaced. Very simply, make sure that they are 100% smooth. We want to thank you for stopping by, Team FastEddy. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Team FastEddy. And you can see the end of this video for the address. You can also find us at RC Large Scale Forum, which is www.rclargescale.com, and we can answer any of your questions. And there's also a bunch of other manufacturers there, and very knowledgeable people. Yeah, very knowledgeable people that'll help you answer your questions. Again, thanks for stopping by, Team FastEddy. Now go out and have some fun.